We got a 13 Volkswagen GTI. It had a P1321. 13185 or it had a P1385. It had a P2185 for coolant temperature sensor high at the radiator. So right down there in the radiator hose is a coolant temperature sensor on the driver's side here, bottom radiator hose. So a tech replaced the coolant temperature sensor down there in the radiator hose. Now I've got it. Pulled out the computer. They had already replaced the computer. I seen that when they pulled that out. I went ahead and hooked up the new computer before I did all this, and still had the code. Checked my wires. I had a ground on one, and the other one's supposed to have a 5-volt reference. It did not have a 5-volt reference. So, and if you are doing this, these two wires, brown and yellow. Now, the pigtail they put on there for me was brown and green, so that had me confused for a minute because my wiring diagram colors didn't match up. But they are pins in the bigger connector. Here's your two connectors. So the bigger one, they are pins 12 and 36. 12 is the brown, 36 is the yellow. So now I did go tugging and pulling on this a little bit. My thought was that I had a bad connection right here, which I'm going to replace these and fix them. But right now I've got continuity all the way through both wires. So I'm going to fix these because I'm thinking it's possible that I'd messed with this a little bit and that made it get connection. So I'm going to fix them, retest them, make sure I got continuity. Then I'm going to hook probably my, I don't know, whichever computer, probably the old one because it actually starts with that one. And see if I got 5 volts coming out of pin 12, the brown wire. See if I got 5 volts coming out of there, because that's what I'm missing is my 5-volt reference. So I'm gonna get that fixed, hook that up, see what I got. I'll be right back. Okay. I might have said it backwards earlier, but I got my 2 pins in my yellow wire. And I should have 5 volts coming out of there. I've got nothing. So, I mean, that's enough to say it's a bad computer, right? I don't know. I'm going to unhook the battery, pull it back off here, and depin that. Because somebody's been in here, changed the computer before, fix this wiring. And I'm going to depin that wire and see if they've spread that out where it's not getting a good connection or something. All right, well, finally got it figured out. So, the culprit is somebody, because they had already replaced the computer, they had replaced the pigtail. Somebody during testing of working on this thing front probed the yellow wire, I think pin, what was it, 28? I can't even remember. They front probed that wire and it has no tension whatsoever. I got a D pin there. I can stick a T pin in there and it just falls in there. It just falls in there. And this one, I just barely put it in and it's got pressure. So I'm definitely not gonna stick it in this one. So now I got this off of that computer wiring harness there that the other tech said put a computer in it next. And you know, the sticking computer's hidden up underneath the corral, but anyways, I mean, I could have even falsely said, I almost said that we need another computer because I wasn't getting no 5 volts coming out of the computer, but luckily I went a little further and figured it out. But that's what it is, this freaking little connector in there. So I'm gonna get that put in there, and so what happened is I had my T pin in there checking for 5 volts, and I cleared the code and the code erased. It never would erase before. So like, all right, what's going on? Well, having that T-pin in there, pushing against it was getting it to make contact and letting it clear the code. Pull my T-pin out, code would reset and would not erase. Put my T-pin back in, and I could erase the code and it wouldn't come back. So, all right, still got a little work ahead of me, but at least I am confident that it's going to be fixed now. All right, I'm on my final test drive. I always drive a little bit, 5 miles or so, then I'll pull over and shut the car off for a minute and fire it back up, drive more, pull over, fire it back up. Now what's going on? There it goes. Whew. Thought something was acting up weird there for a minute. All right, so calling this one fixed. And ended up being the bad terminal in the computer connector, likely where the last shop or whoever worked on it probably front probed that connector, spread out the terminal, and caused the P2185, I think it was, or coolant temperature sensor at the radiator, bottom driver's side radiator hose open circuit. Now I just got the car in my bay to put the ECM in and confirm that it's fixed. But before that, it got that lower sensor put on it. It got a complete water pump put on it because they thought it was the other sensor. Then they ordered the computer, and I went ahead and put the computer in, seeing that it didn't work, and then done testing and found the loose terminal. So I don't know if this video will help anyone because that's a pretty specific problem, but it was a pickle. Anytime you're doing wiring stuff like that, it can be a pickle, but got her figured out, running good, no check engine light. So, all right, well, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.